देखिए उस टेबल के बाद आप लोग ऐड कर लेंगे रिएक्शंस ऑफ ऑक्साइड्स। अब द थिंग इज दैट दीज रिएक्शंस दैट विल बी डूइंग टुडे, मोस्ट ऑफ देम आर लाइक फ्रॉम आईजीसीएसई। तो अभी हम जब लिखेंगे तो you'll get an idea. Let me start here. Reactions. So after the table, the next topic is reactions of oxides. Now, if I list these oxides, the one that we wrote in the table last time, I repeat, inorganic के notes आपने separate रखने हैं from organic chemistry. And if you go back into your organic notes, inorganic notes, उसमें आपको last मिलेगा table. Table के आगे oxides के reactions. So if I list those oxides here once again, we had sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, aluminum oxide, silicon dioxide, phosphorus oxide, and sulfur dioxide or sulfur trioxide. They both have same reactions, slightly different products. So these are the oxides of third period elements और इनके हमने reactions पढ़ने हैं. All the reactions of third period elements are based on their nature. Like first two oxides are basic. These two are basic oxide. तो एक basic oxide water से and acid से react कर सकता है. Aluminum oxide is amphoteric. You guys know this all from IGCSE. The rest of these oxides are acidic. So acidic oxide can react with water and base, but not with acid, obviously. So reactions में the first one is reaction with water. Like अगर इन oxides को हम water से react करें तो which of these oxide could or could not react? तो अब देखें basic oxide would react with water. Aluminum oxide is amphoteric, that does not react. Silicon dioxide is acidic, but it is a giant covalent structure that does not even react. Here, phosphorus, sulfur dioxide or trioxide, they all react. तो react करके what do they make are like base or acid. Let's start with Na2O. आप इनको साथ साथ नोट भी करें और कोई क्वेश्चन आता है you can unmute yourself and ask that too. And they're all like they're all the reactions that we do from IGCSE. So I expect you guys to know most of these reactions. Could you tell me what would be the product? Anyone can unmute and try and answer that.
Sodium hydroxide.
Sodium hydroxide, good. So what we'll be doing is that we'll be trying to write these equation and balance them side by side with state symbols. So Na2O when goes in water makes NaOH, sodium hydroxide, and metal oxide is solid, water is liquid, NaOH is aqueous. इसको अगर आप बैलेंस करें तो we'll put 2 with NaOH and it would balance all. Then magnesium oxide plus water. जिन लोगों ने अभी ज्वाइन किया है, we were doing inorganic chemistry in this Saturday's class, और उसमें last time we done this table of oxides properties, and next we are doing the reactions of oxides of third period. First reaction we are doing is this with water. Magnesium oxide plus water would again make a base, that is magnesium hydroxide. And this equation is already balanced with magnesium hydroxide. You can write solid or aqueous. It's sparingly soluble, so दोनों states acceptable हैं इसमें. It's not highly soluble base like NaOH. It's in fact more insoluble. Where aluminum oxide does not react as it's amphoteric. Silicon dioxide is a giant covalent structure that does not react with water, but P4O10 and SO2 would react. So P4O10 say, any possible guess what do we get in product? कोई बताए बेटा? अबीर नहीं बताएगी, लास्ट टाइम अबीर ने आंसर दिया, आई नो जी. P4O10 plus water. We'll expect some base or acid form. What do we expect from this? पिन ड्रॉप साइलेंस हो गए. चलो देखो, एसिडिक ऑक्साइड को जब आप वाटर में ऐड करोगे तो विल एक्सपेक्ट एन एसिड फॉर्म्ड. फास्फोरस एसिड इज फास्फोरिक एसिड, सो विल जस्ट मेक H3PO4, and that although is not a very strong acid but it is aqueous. Acids की state water के साथ aqueous ही होगी. To balance this, we'll put 4 with H3PO4, and that makes my hydrogen 12 in product size. So to balance hydrogen, it will be 6 here. So your equation balance, all these equations are supposed to be balanced and you need to know their state symbols, except for very few equations in inorganic which we don't need balancing for, क्योंकि उसमें complete list of product नहीं है, तो वो हम सिर्फ product बनाते हैं major, उनको balance हम नहीं करते. But otherwise balancing is must.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Why doesn't aluminium react with water?
You should have answer at this stage. Amphoteric oxides do not react with water, they react with acid and base. ये दो level का concept है बेटा. Al2O3
Okay.
is an amphoteric oxide. It doesn't react with water. Amphoteric जो होते हैं और neutral oxide don't react with water. अच्छा, silicon dioxide का भी मैंने explain किया है, and then I'll repeat. Silicon dioxide, although it's an acidic oxide, it's technically sand. So it's a giant covalent structure. Water does not have enough polarity to break its giant covalent structure, so therefore SiO2 does not even react. अच्छा, P4O10 के बाद next SO2 और SO3 के reactions भी हम लिखेंगे. They're both similar. Normally SO2 हम consider करते हैं because it is more stable oxide of sulfur. So when SO2 is reacted with water, it will make sulfurous acid H2SO3. Sulfurous acid H2SO3. It's not very stable acid, but with SO2 you'll make SO3 H2SO3. If you have SO3 sulfur trioxide gas, फिर उसमें आपने सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड बनाना है. ठीक है, H2SO4 sulfuric acid. So with SO3 sulfur trioxide gas will make sulfuric acid, with SO2 will make sulfurous acid H2SO4. These two are like already balanced equations. तो easy reactions हैं, but आते हैं पेपर में, MCQs में आते हैं. You get to construct these equations in paper 2. All these sort of questions are asked. अब आप लोग साथ साथ नोट कर चुके हैं. I'm sure raising all this will take a lot of time. तो फिर मैं next slide पे जाऊंगा. If you got a question, you can ask in between. Next इसमें we have reaction of oxides with water, acid and base. Acid के साथ acidic oxides don't react. Base से basic oxide don't react. Amphoteric oxide will react with both. So I think I'll just go on the next slide now. Oh, with 2 extra. Why won't you open it? Here we go. Now, second reaction of oxides is with acid. Quite a few people are absent. I announced in class that we have Saturday class 11 o'clock fixed. तो जब नहीं होगी तो मैं बताऊंगा, लेकिन still. अच्छा देखिए, जो एसिडिक ऑक्साइड एसिड्स हैं उनके साथ बेसिक ऑक्साइड वुड रिएक्ट Na2O. आई रियली वांट कि आप लोग खुद जरा ट्राई करें इनके प्रोडक्ट. ये सब IGCSE के कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं, कोई इसमें एक्सेप्शनल नई चीज़ नहीं है. Magnesium oxide could react with H2SO4, so you could get any strong acid from the list. HNO3, H2SO4, HCl, they're all strong acid. Where aluminum oxide could react with an acids. बाकी sulfur dioxide, P4O10, they don't react with acid obviously because they're acidic oxide. तो अगर आप लोग इनकी equations बनाने की कोशिश करें, when metal oxide is reacted with an acid, you get salt and water, and then try and balance them as well. In the start of the year, we practiced formula writing for about 2-3 days, uh, and that was mainly for this part of chemistry. यहाँ पर आपको इक्वेशन बना के बैलेंस करना पड़ती है. स्टेट सिंबल्स मैंने लिख दिए हैं, आप लोग बैलेंस करें. आई विल टेक द अटेंडेंस इन बिटवीन. All right, so could someone tell me what would be the products in first reaction?
NaCl plus H2O.
NaCl plus H2O, salt water. NaCl is a highly soluble salt, so we write aqueous with it, water, liquid. फिर balance करना है तो for Na2O we'll put 2 with NaCl, and to balance that we'll put 2 with HCl. Second equation में कोई अब बॉयज में से बताए, लड़कों की आवाज नहीं आती ऑनलाइन में, मैंने देखा है. ये मैग्नीशियम ऑक्साइड प्लस सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड प्रोडक्ट्स. ये वैसे IGCSE के बच्चों से पूछे वो भी बता सकते हैं. देखो लड़के तो बोल, मुझे लग रहा है आप लोग ध्यान नहीं दे रहे क्लास में. कोई और बता दो बेटा.
MgSO4 plus H2O.
शाबाश, गुड. मैग्नीशियम सल्फेट बनेगा और साथ हम वाटर भी बनाएंगे. And magnesium sulfate again would be soluble, water liquid. This one is already balanced. Aluminum oxide plus HCl would make aluminum chloride plus H2O. So to balance all this, we'll put 2 with the AlCl3, 6 with HCl3 with water. AlCl3 is sparingly soluble, so we can write solid with it, water liquid. All these reactions happening quite fast at room temperature. तो अगर मैं एरो पे हीट वगैरह नहीं लिख रहा, that means all these reactions happening at room temperature. Easy reactions. इसके बाद इधर ही हम ऐड कर लेते हैं थर्ड रिएक्शन जो लास्ट है ऑक्साइड्स का, दैट्स विद बेस or alkali. Now when you react third period elements oxides with base, naturally basic oxide won't react like Na2O, magnesium oxide do not react. But because aluminum oxide is an amphoteric oxide, this will react with the base. तो ये जो इक्वेशन है इसके साथ ये मैं साइन में लगा रहा हूँ. You need to know the products, but they don't ask you to construct this equation quite easily. MCQs में given होती है and you have to pick the right option. So you need to know this equation, by the way. आनी चाहिए. पूछते इसलिए नहीं है because इसमें the product formed is not a very common salt. I mean it's a complex salt और complex salt A2 के syllabus में. Common salt as in NaCl में अगर आप देखो तो एक पॉजिटिव आयन है एक नेगेटिव है. Metal non-metal, same for magnesium or aluminum chloride. But in this case, we get a salt that is NaAlOH whole 4, that's sodium aluminate, and that typically solid. कभी aqueous भी लिखा होता है, that's same thing, इससे फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. With 2 NaLOH, we can try and balance this equation. अच्छा, ये सॉल्ट इसलिए डिफरेंट है बिकॉज अगर आप इसमें देखें सोडियम एल्यूमिनेट में, यू गॉट 2 मेटल्स इन इट. सोडियम एल्यूमिनेट, सोडियम है और एल्यूमिनियम है. नॉर्मली सॉल्ट्स हैव 1 मेटल एंड 1 नॉन मेटल आयन, बट दिस इज अ कॉम्प्लेक्स सॉल्ट. और कॉम्प्लेक्स सॉल्ट्स की जो केमिस्ट्री है, इट्स नॉट दैट सिमिलर टू द नॉर्मल सॉल्ट्स दैट वी हैव लाइक NaCl. तो इसकी प्रोडक्ट आने चाहिए. वी शुड बी एबल टू कंस्ट्रक्ट द इक्वेशन इवन, एंड विद 2 NaLOH it balances. NaOH के साथ आप 2 लगा दें. हाइड्रोजन आप देखो राइट हैंड साइड पे 4 times 2 8 है, तो if we balance that 2 hydrogen NaOH में, so we'll put 3 with water. So I repeat, you need to know the entire equation balanced. They don't ask you the equation commonly. They give you 4 equations in MCQs and say which one is the correct equation for the reaction of aluminum oxide with NaOH. It could be any strong base here, by the way. ये नहीं है कि बस आप NaOH याद कर लें या जो मैं लिख रहा हूँ. Need to understand the concept. If my base is KOH, potassium hydroxide, so your salt will be KAlOH whole 4.
हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
जी वालेकुम अस्सलाम, माशाल्लाह आप बहुत लेट आई हैं।
नहीं सर, मेरा लैपटॉप बंद हो गया था।
अच्छा ठीक है।
मैं
अच्छा
पहले थी
देखिए,
क्लास में, मेरा लैपटॉप बंद हो गया।
कोई बात। ये जो अभी इक्वेशन मैंने लिखी है एल्यूमिनियम ऑक्साइड की, ये आप लोगों ने वैसे IGCSE में पढ़ी हुई है। और जब आप लोगों ने पढ़ा था मेटल एक्सट्रैक्शन में, एक्सट्रैक्शन ऑफ एल्यूमिनियम, उसमें दिस बॉक्साइट इज प्योरिफाइड बाय पुटिंग इनटू सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड सॉल्यूशन, फिर उसमें सोडियम एल्यूमिनेट बनता है, इससे भी मेक दिस एल्यूमिना, फिर उसकी इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस करते हैं। And we had this extraction of aluminum in A-level syllabus till 2016, लेकिन अब उन्होंने निकाल दी हुई है, but we do have this reaction still there. तो बेस के साथ aluminum oxide will react, फिर इसके बाद acidic oxide, silicon dioxide, that could easily react like NaOH के साथ। अब मेरे पास जगह कम है तो मैं एरो नीचे लगा रहा हूँ, आप सीधा ही लिखें। This will make sodium silicate, but this reaction needs some heat, slight heating. Na2SiO3, sodium silicate, and beside that we get water. और इसको आपने बैलेंस करना तो we'll put 2 with NaOH. Silicon dioxide is solid, NaOH is aqueous, water is liquid, और Na2SiO3 is aqueous. Group 1 के salt soluble होते. Silicon dioxide के बाद we have this phosphorus oxide P4O10, and if we react them with a base like KOH, maybe potassium hydroxide, which is even stronger than NaOH, so we'll get salt, potassium phosphate and water. Potassium phosphate का formula होगा K3PO4 plus H2. Phosphorus oxide is solid, KOH is aqueous. Potassium phosphate, again it's a group 1 salt, so soluble, when soluble to aqueous, water liquid. इस इक्वेशन को बैलेंस अगर आपको करना है तो यू गॉट पोटेशियम 3 देयर इन प्रोडक्ट, तो इसके साथ आप 3 लगाओ, and then maybe oxygen you could balance by putting hydrogen मेरे पास कितना हो गया, वहां पर 3 है तो 3 नहीं होगा, K3 है, कैसे होगी बैलेंस, करो बैलेंस इसको। हाँ नहीं, 3 से नहीं होगी, देखो यू गॉट 4 phosphorus here, so we'll put 4 here to balance phosphorus, and now potassium becomes 12, 4 times 3 12, तो उसके लिए फिर आप इसको 12 कर दें, and now my hydrogen is like 12, so all the hydrogen is in water, so that will go like 6. Now this will be balanced, potassium phosphate and water. अब आप देखें मैं सारी equations balance लिख रहा हूँ, and I'm writing state symbols as well, so it's understood that you need to do the same in exam. State symbols you write once the question would ask for, आने चाहिए, लेकिन जब question में लिखा हो only then you write state symbols. Balancing तो otherwise must है. They just write it in the start of the paper that wherever required construct balanced equations for the reaction. तो वो आपने ये नहीं कहना कि जी इस क्वेश्चन में लिखा नहीं था बैलेंस करनी है।
Sir, how do we know which compound is sparingly soluble?
जी बेटा, ये इसके लिए आप लोगों को O लेवल के IGCSE के solubility rules रिवाइज करने पड़ेंगे। और I've said this earlier, I repeat it again कि because we don't have acid basis salts chapter in A level, but you need to repeat it from IGCSE. तो उसको जब आप रिपीट करेंगे तो उसमें सॉलिबिलिटी रूल्स भी हैं, वो आप लोग याद करें, वरना फिर ये स्टेट सिंबल्स का बड़ा मसला रहेगा। तो अगर आपका सॉल्ट सॉल्युबल है तो और वाटर प्रेजेंट है रिएक्शन में, तो बस फिर आप उसको एक्विस कर देंगे। अगर वो इनसॉल्युबल है, स्पेरिंगली सॉल्युबल है, तो फिर आप उसके साथ सॉलिड लिखेंगे। All right, now the next thing after the reactions of these oxides, um, the next compound we have from third period are chlorides of third period. So the chloride in third period they are much easier and shorter. We only have one reaction of chlorides. So we try and complete them right now. So next आप side heading बना लें, chlorides of third period. इसके लिए इनकी फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज का भी हम एक टेबल बना लेते हैं, एंड अगेन यू कैन ट्राई एंड स्केच इट क्विकली विद मी। एक ही रिएक्शन इनका, आई रियली वांट कि वो मैं आपको खत्म करा दूं, दैट वुड एक्चुअली कंप्लीट आवर फर्स्ट चैप्टर, थर्ड पीरियड एलिमेंट्स। Okay, so chlorides of third period में we'll have sodium chloride, फिर magnesium chloride, aluminum chloride, silicon chloride, SiCl4, and phosphorus chloride. We don't have sulfur chloride in our syllabus as such. Or इनकी कुछ physical properties and the ones which come in MCQ, so we'll just write them in this table. That's like state, color, and solubility. We can actually add one more column for their structure even. Structure जो हमने solids में पढ़े थे bonding में, states of matter. Okay, so here goes the state of these chlorides, color, फिर structure इधर ही लिख लेते हैं, and solubility in water. So again, we expect you to know most of these state. NaCl, magnesium chloride, aluminum chloride, these are solid. इसको हम इस तरह एक दफा solid लिख के arrow लगा दें till AlCl3. SiCl4 and PCl5 are liquid. Color में first three are solid, white solid. Like NaCl is a common table salt and that is white. So these three are white. Silicon 4 chloride and PCl5 are colorless, like water, colorless. Then for structure, you need to add word giant, simple, and all. So NaCl, magnesium chloride are ionic compounds and they have giant ionic lattice. So ये दो जो हैं इनके लिए giant ionic lattice. The remaining are simple molecular or simple covalent. All these three are simple molecular or simple covalent solids. AlCl3 हमने dative bond में पढ़ा था and we studied that it has this covalent bonding present in it. Solubility is like when you put these chlorides in water, so the first two are soluble, like they dissolve physically, they get ionized. And then the next three are highly soluble, they react easily, quickly, they get hydrolyzed. They get hydrolyzed in water. So get hydrolysis is a chemical change. ये chemical change है। इसमें फिर एक ही रिएक्शन है क्लोराइड्स का वाटर से, वो हम करते हैं नेक्स्ट, बट बिफोर दैट आई विल पुट दिस लैपटॉप ऑन चार्जिंग। All right. I hope you guys are done writing this table. अब इसमें एक ही हमारा reaction है chlorides का. That's reaction of chlorides with water. And the first two simply get dissolved. They turn into ions. That's not a chemical change. The next three get hydrolyzed. That's quite an important reaction. तो वो मैं लिखता हूँ फिर अब next slide. Okay. So reaction of chlorides with water. Okay, so when we put this NaCl in water, or when we put this magnesium chloride in water, you know, NaCl is stable salt. You can put it in water and simply drink that solution if you don't put too much of it, obviously. So NaCl water में dissolve होके ionize हो जाता है. It simply turns into ions. कोई chemical change नहीं है. It's a physical change. Sodium ion बनते हैं aqueous, chloride ions aqueous. Similarly, magnesium chloride, these two are obviously like solid. अभी हमने table में लिखा है. When you put them in water, they turn into ions like magnesium and chloride ions. We write them balanced. Aqueous and aqueous. So these two are physical changes. इन चीज़ों पे questions आते हैं MCQs में कि adding magnesium chloride in water is a chemical change or a physical change. तो आप बताओगे कि ये simply turns into ions, so no new product or anything formed. You can simply heat this water solution so much कि आपको salt वापस मिल जाए. So these two are physical changes, and the resulting solution formed has a neutral pH. So the pH of the resulting solution is 7. ठीक है, resulting solution's pH is 7. अगर आपसे एग्जामिनर ये पूछ रहा है कि when you put NaCl in water and you know the product formed and everything, and they ask you what would be the pH of the resulting solution, so it will be neutral 7 क्योंकि ये कोई chemical change नहीं है. And the next one is aluminum chloride, AlCl3. When you put it in water, they get hydrolyzed. अभी मैंने table में लिखा था. So hydrolysis is the chemical change. It forms AlOH whole thrice plus HCl. So this is probably the last reaction जो आज हम करेंगे. ये chapter भी खत्म हो जाएगा. आप लोग इसको नोट कर लें. इसके साथ काफ़ी points आते हैं पेपर में, वो मैं mention करता हूँ. So AlCl3 plus water makes aluminum hydroxide plus HCl, which is gas. And to balance this one, you can actually start putting 2 with AlCl3 and 6 with HCl, 3 with water. इसमें sometimes this aluminum hydroxide is switched with another compound here, that is AlH2O whole 3 or OH. So even if this is given in the question answer or mark scheme or book, so we are okay with it. लेकिन initially this AlOH whole thrice is formed. तो आप ये याद कर लें, बस यही लिख दें. But if examiner gives you this in the answer, just remember that this compound is not stable. It turns into this product finally.
Sir, shouldn't the aluminum hydroxide should be 2?
We put 2 with AlOH. Yes. Water is liquid. Aluminum hydroxide is a sparingly soluble base, so we'll put solid with it. Okay, so next reaction is of silicon with water. Silicon's chloride with water. Silicon chloride is liquid, and when you react it with water, that forms silicon hydroxide plus H2O, and so not H2O, HCl. All these form HCl as a byproduct gas. balance chlorine, we put 4 with HCl, and to balance hydrogen, 4, 4, 8, we put 4 with water. That would balance. Silicon 4 hydroxide is sparingly soluble or solid. HCl is gas. And even in place of silicon hydroxide, because this is also not very stable, you might find like this hydrated oxide of silicon in the answer. So SiOH whole 4 बनता है and then it changes to SiO2 dot to H2. ठीक है, तो दोनों एक्सेप्टेबल है। ये मैं इसलिए लिख रहा हूँ क्योंकि कुछ बच्चे मार्क स्कीम को बड़ा होली स्क्रिप्ट की तरह ट्रीट करते हैं, तो अगर उसमें ये नजर आ जाए तो रिमेंबर कि दिस इज फॉर्म्ड and then that is changed into hydrated oxide. Where PCl5 phosphorus 5 chloride could react with water, and that makes phosphoric acid H3PO4 plus HCl again. Phosphoric acid is aqueous. Phosphorus 5 chloride is liquid, water is liquid. अब इसमें अगर आपने इसको बैलेंस करना है तो that may take some time. आप लोग try करें balance the last equation and I'll write some other important things side by side. These three reactions are called hydrolysis. इसमें water breaks down and adds to the other thing. And hydrolysis is a chemical change. It's not a physical change. And these three reactions are exothermic reactions. You need to know all these points about this reaction. So hydrolysis of chlorides of third period, excluding first two, is an exothermic change. And because heat is given out in the process, this HCl turns to gas all the time. ठीक है, जो HCl की state है, ये gas में change हो जाती है because of the heat given out during the reaction. Now, in this case, the pH of the resulting solutions, because strong HCl is formed, is 1 to 3. ठीक है ना, इसमें आप 1 to 3 बताएंगे, that is due to HCl. These three equations or reactions form HCl, and that's why the pH remains strong acidic. First two जो थे उनमें, because that was just a physical change, no chemical change, the solution stays neutral, उसकी pH 7 तक रहती है. तो ये है. अब मुझे बताएं किसी ने बैलेंस की लास्ट इक्वेशन?
4 H2O and 5 HCl.
4 with this and 5 with this. I hope it balances. What hydrogen is 8, 5, 3, 8. Good. Phosphorus 1, chlorine 5, oxygen 4. Good. Balanced. So this completes third period elements, and in fact the biggest chapter of inorganic as well. अब मैंने last time भी कहा था कि I'll be checking your notebooks. आपने inorganic के notes separate रखने हैं. So when you come in next class on Monday, make sure your first chapter inorganic chemistry का third period notes are complete, and try and memorize these equations. ठीक है? Inorganic becomes very difficult if you do not memorize these products, and then don't practice them enough in the rough. जी, Anya, you had a question? पूछे.
Sir, why is AlCl3 solid if it's simple molecular?
When we studied solids, तो उसमें we studied the bonding of AlCl3. It is simple molecular, but I never said कि all simple molecules are supposed to be gases. ठीक है, ये आपने याद रखना है. दूसरी बात ये कि वाटर भी simple molecule है, वो liquid है. Alcohols are simple molecules, they are liquid. So all the gases are no doubt simple molecules, but that does not mean that anything which is simple molecule will be a gas. They are like liquids, even solids, even P4O10 solid है, sulfur, phosphorus solid है, but they're simple molecules.
Okay, sir.
अब किसी का और क्वेश्चन है पूछ लें. This is just last 2 minutes, तो इसको मैं यहाँ पे रोकूंगा. I'll try and share the recording. वैसे